You want to learn Japanese, but kanji is in the way. But you know that at the end of the day, kanji is an essential aspect of Japanese. Here I show you the kanji is actually on our side, and by our I mean us, people learning the language. And also how once you know them, you are in for a more dynamic reading experience than in English, for example. By the end of this video, you will understand how incredible kanji are and the advantages that they have over the Latin alphabet. My intent is that you start loving them, which will help you conquer them easier too. The first proof that kanji is our ally is that it allows us to assimilate words more easily. To exemplify that, but first, I want to say that for me, I like to say that kanji don't have a meaning. It's more like they convey a concept. Of course, for some, like this one, you can say that it means person, but for others, thinking of them as concepts is more appropriate. And this idea is present most of the time in words made up of kanji. See this one for example, made up of person, and this other one which has a concept related to work, craftsmanship, engineering. It makes totally sense that it means artificial, right? And I have double support when remembering this word. You have the sound, as any language, jinko, but you also have the kanji, and their unique concept attached to them. Now compare with words only in hiragana, bikkuri, jikkuri, shakkuri, shikkuri. These are a pain to remember, there's nothing to rely on except for your pure memorization of their differences in meaning. Oh, by the way, the four words here are all part of the kuri adverbs. Like, yukuri, which means slowly. Except one. Do you know which one? I will tell you later. It's interesting how the brain works, the way the brain processes visual words when reading. With kanji then, that fact is even more pronounced. This word here, tamerao, looks very scary and complicated. But if you do know how to read it, your brain does the work for you instantly, because it looks so distinct. Oh, I already said it, but it's read as tamerao, and it means to hesitate. Ah, and the kuri words, by the way, bikkuri, jikkuri, shakkuri, shikkuri. The only one that is not an adverb is shakkuri, which means hiccup. Bikkuri means to be surprised, jikkuri means carefully, as to think carefully, and shikkuri means to fit nicely. But back to the topic of tamerao, look at this sentence here. 彼はためらうことなく何でも挑戦する人です. It's clear here what part of the sentence stands out, so as long as you know the reading, you can scan the text really fast. Indeed, way faster than the Latin alphabet, I think. And it's weird because sometimes I'm reading and my brain knows how to read a word and I just don't know why. But I check and it's correct and I don't even know when I learned it. I love when that happens. I mean, sometimes I am wrong, but it's always an opportunity to learn, right? Well, back to the topic of dynamic reading. Japanese is already one of the fastest spoken languages in the world, so it just makes sense that reading it is fast as well. Oh, and the natural way to write that sentence would be more like this. 彼はためらうことなく何でも挑戦する人です. Tamerao is not part of the Joyo kanji, the least from the government of the most used characters, but it usually appears as kanji in books. But to conclude, I think that kanji and their variations is fascinating, and anyone serious about learning Japanese should start learning them from the very beginning. You can harvest the fruits of your labor faster if you get used to kanji early in your learning journey, because they are there to fight with you, not against you. By the way, in one of my earliest videos, I talked about my own experience learning kanji before anything else and how that helped me. And you can check this video here.